shocked, horrified, and baffled our community. What would drive a mother to go to the Sellwood Bridge and then throw her two young children down into the river?
Well, tonight, a Portland-based author and journalist is sharing what she's uncovered during years of research. Our Amy Frazier sat down with her as she prepares to publish To the Bridge.
It was the middle of the night and more than a 70-foot drop from the Sellwood Bridge.
The scream started over here right across by Oaks Park.
On May 23, 2009, Amanda Stott-Smith dropped her young son and daughter into the dark, cold waters of the Willamette River.
To all those that I've hurt, especially my children, I am deeply sorry.
7-year-old Trinity survived. Her 4-year-old brother Eldon did not. A Portland fire rescue boat was later named in their honor.
I'm here to honor him because I miss him so much.
Their mother, Amanda, was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 35 years.
No explanations of the thoughts of the murderer who killed my son will ever make sense to anybody.
It's a feeling we also heard from the community.
Boggles the mind. I don't know, it's too much.
So none of it makes any sense to me.
I completely agree with those sentiments, and I think that's exactly what people do think when they hear mother, drops children, young children from a bridge in the middle of the night.
From the moment she learned of the crime.
As a mother, as a journalist, as a human being.
Portland-based author Nancy Rommelmann needed to know more, and the life road Amanda traveled to get herself and her children to the bridge.
Because I think we are better off at least having some idea of how this happens, as opposed to saying we're never going to understand. I just don't see how that helps anything, ever.
8 years ago, she began pouring through public records and interviewing family and friends willing to speak with her.
Does it make sense to you now?
It does make sense to me now.
In June of 2018, she'll publish a book called To the Bridge. She agreed to share with us now some of what she's learned.
So to say no one could ever have seen this coming, which many people said, is just not the case. I mean, you can't say like, oh, we knew 2 children were going to be thrown off a bridge, but they knew disaster was in the making, for sure.
Rommelmann researched a troubled marriage.
There were addictions, and there were lies, and there were money issues.
And what she describes as years of bad behavior.
I feel sad and, sometimes angry that people just made such crappy choices. Selfish choices driven by addiction, choices driven by the fancy lies they could tell and convince others of, and the people that suffered were the children.
Rommelmann believes Amanda's decision that night was in part an act of revenge against her then estranged husband.
She'd lost a lot at that point. She'd lost custody of her children.
But she also says it's more complicated than people realize.
Obviously to hurt him, sure. But what else did she have at that point? She had no home, she had no property, she had no money, she had no job.
She says neither Stott-Smith nor her ex-husband would speak with her. And she knows there are those who feel she's only making things worse.
I know I was never here to cause people more pain. I know I was never here to sensationalize everything. The book is not sensational. I thought that it would make things hurt less if we could understand how they happened.
And she says if pulling truth from the horror helps prevent something like this from happening again, then all the better.
When you do take the information and lay it on the ground and look at it, you can put the pieces together. And to me, it does make sense.
Amy Frazier, KOIN 6 News.
Now, neither Stott-Smith nor her ex-husband responded to our request for comment.
Nancy Rommelmann's book, To the Bridge, will be out in June next year, but you can read excerpts from that book right now at KOIN.com.